afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, or whatever time you are viewing this video.
1.5 kilometers. Turn left on Argentia Road.
So, hello again, my viewers. I hope you all have been having a gorgeous day. It's Monday, August 26th, where I am, and I'm on my way home from the plantation. And just trying to get some thoughts clear off my head on my drive home, and
In 500 meters.
just wanted to
turn
get
left on Argentia Road.
your views on a particular topic. So the other day I was watching Auntie Donna. You guys probably can guess by now that I watch a lot of Auntie Donna videos. So Auntie Donna is an entrepreneur, humanitarian, social media influencer from Jamaica. So
Turn left on
whomever
Argentia Road.
doesn't know of Auntie Donna, you can follow her on YouTube at Donna Go or Planka Boss, or she's also on Facebook at Teaching You My Cooking Skills. So I was watching Auntie Donna on YouTube over the weekend, and Auntie Donna recently immigrated to the United States. So Auntie Donna has for those of you who don't know anything about Auntie Donna, so just giving you a little brief synopsis of where my topic is heading.
Turn right onto Pizarro
So
Road.
Auntie Donna has 4 children, 3 grown biological adults and 1 adopted. Joshua is about 8 years old now. So her grown children filed for her, and she emigrated to the United States in July of this year. However, because it was her kids that filed for her, they did file for their younger brother, but apparently sibling to sibling filing in the United States, it takes a very long time, about 10 years or so. I don't remember the time frame that she gave. So unfortunately Joshua they weren't able to, his
In
processing
300 meters.
hasn't
Turn
come
right onto
through.
Pizarro
So
Road.
she had to wait until she received her green card. Then she put
Turn right
through
onto Pizarro
the
Road.
filing for him, and then the process will now take approximately 2 years. So with Auntie Donna getting her papers, apparently the US Embassy, they don't necessarily grant minor kids visitors visa, because I guess they think that if the adult is going to migrate to the United States, then they will take up the other children and not send them back. So basically, make them illegal in the States. So then they denied Joshua his US visa. But Joshua has a Canadian visa. So Auntie Donna was able to, she went over into the States first for the summer and wait until she got her green card. She didn't let Joshua stay in Jamaica. She sent him to Canada to some of her friends until for the summer.
In 700 meters.
So
On right.
poor Auntie Donna now, because Joshua is such a young kid, young and impressionable, and he doesn't really understand too much the whole dynamics around not getting the visa, and him not really understanding what is happening and why his mommy had to go to the States, and why he had to go to Canada, so on and so forth. So it was bothering Auntie Donna while she was in the States and she was waiting on her green card. So of course, every state and every person's situation is different. Some people were telling her she would get it in 2 weeks, yada yada yada, but it took her almost 7 weeks to get her green card. So all during that time, Auntie Donna, she was just fretting because she had Joshua ever since he was a baby, and then also in trying to let a 7 or 8 year old understand why your mommy can't be with you during this time. You can imagine how it would feel for a kid to know that, to think that, okay, because I'm probably, what he's thinking is that because I'm adopted, I'm not the same as the biological kids, and she was able to go to see her biological kids and I was able to go, and so Auntie Donna, she was just a little bit worried about being away from him so long, as well as she had him ever since he was a baby, right? So to be away from your baby for so long, it takes a toll on you. I don't know how I would manage that, being away from my kid for so long, especially for you're not sure how long it will be, right? Because initially she thought that within 2 weeks she would have gotten her green card, so she probably was thinking that, okay, 2 weeks and then I could go visit him. But anyway, it dragged on, and it's not like you can call US Immigration and ask them to speed up the green card process. So anyways, during the 7 weeks, you can tell, she was happy to be around her adult kids, but you can tell that she was still a little bit worried about the little boy, because with the adult kids, when they migrated from her, they were older, they were in their teens, and they migrated to their father. So Joshua, he doesn't have a biological father, or well, we don't know much about Auntie Donna's personal life, but it doesn't seem as if he has a father figure in his life. She does have workers around her, male workers around her, who provide some sort of male bonding and stuff with Joshua. But hey, if it's not your parents, not your dad, it's different. It's your mom's employees, so poor Auntie Donna, and she speaks with him every day, and sometimes he would ask her, when is she coming, and why can't he come over to visit her, and why can't she come now to visit him. It's because even though she had her stamp in her passport, she could travel, yes, but rules and stuff, and she just didn't want to leave the States until she had that green card in her hand. So 7 weeks later, she got her green card, and then 2 days later she went over to Canada, and she was able to be reunited with her baby Joshua. And you could see the change, and you could see when he saw her at the airport, he was so happy, she was so happy, you could hear it in her voice. And honestly, for me watching, it was very emotional for me, because I was like, oh my gosh, she was able to see her son after so long, and he was able to see his mommy, so I went through all of that to ask. And I know that growing up in Jamaica, there were a lot of what we call, at the time, we called barrel children. So barrel children are kids whom their parents mainly mothers, you know, because if it's a single family household, mainly mothers who would get the opportunity to go overseas. So it doesn't matter where overseas, whether a small island or what we call big foreign is what we call the United States. Middle foreign is what we would call Canada, and little foreign is, you know, like the small islands. I don't know where England fit in, or England was just England. But anyway, you know, these parents would get the opportunity to go overseas on visitor's visa, but then what they would do, they would run off on those visas, you know, in trying to get permanence and try to get some sort of jobs, you know, and get themselves settled so that they could take care of their kids, because these parents most times, you know, are not financially stable or have it financially. Although sometimes, you know, you have the few 1 and 2 who had good jobs, but then they probably just still decided to run off into these other countries. So these barrel kids now, where it comes from is these parents who run off, because once they run off and they overstay, you know, they basically can't return home until they get legal status in these other countries. So a family member or family members would be taking care of their kids back home in Jamaica, and then these parents will now send money to, you know, take care of the kids, and then they would always send barrels of stuff. So they would send barrels of food, clothing, and all that jazz to suffice, excuse me, for the kids and whomever is taking care of them. So hence the term barrel kids or barrel picnic in Jamaica. Now I have a kid, and I don't know, sometimes even when he is away at school and I'm at work, I am missing him, even though I know that I am going home to see him, right? So for these parents, I don't know, and I don't know if any of you are, you know, in my audience and can give me your feedback on how hard was it for you to leave your kids, you know, go away to a foreign country, not knowing when you will be able to see your kid again. Because when you look at Auntie Donna, knowing that, okay, she has her US permanent residence, she has a Canadian visa, so she has visited Canada before. She had the stamp in her US visa that, I mean, she could still exit the country and return, so she could have gone within the 7 weeks to look for Joshua, but she just wanted to ensure that she has a green card in hand, because, you know, she could have left the country and anything could have happened where she couldn't, you know, go back into the United States for a while. And what if, whatever the circumstances, that would have kept her out of the United States for more than a year, because the stamp in her passport was valid for a year. So if for any reason, you know, she were to have left the country before getting the green card and something happened where she could not re-enter for a year and she didn't receive the green card, she would have to start the whole filing process all over again. And then at that time, you know, it wouldn't be a guarantee that she would get it, right? So, you know, we understand the situation. She wanted to wait, but I'm just saying, in case of an emergency, yes, she could have traveled, she could have gone over there to see him. Her other kids could have gone over, providing they have time, you know, to go and visit. So she was still flexible somewhat, and then she knew that, and then at least she knew that the green card was coming, because they did tell her at the airport that, you know, sometimes it would have taken at least 3 months, I guess, maybe to get the green card. So at least there is a possible end sight for her to get the green card, and then knowing that she would have the freedom and the liberty to travel at any point in time after that. But and knowing all of that, it was still so extremely difficult for her not being there with her child, that sometimes, you know, she would come on live and you could tell that it was bothering her. So I guess sometimes when she would have a conversation with him, and, you know, like he was asking, you know, questions as kids do, and they, yeah, I mean, he's missing his mommy too, right? And then for her, I guess, not to be able to say, I'm coming X day, or I'm coming that X, you know, XYZ day, because she didn't have that green card. It was so difficult for her. Sometimes she would be online and she would be crying. And some of us would, you know, probably would say, I mean, why is she crying? She can still go see him, or, you know, she just has to wait for a little bit longer, you know, maybe another week or two, then she can go and visit him. So she shouldn't be crying. But then she was missing her kid. And then when I look at it, I'm like, but how do those other parents feel? The ones who leave their kids, have no end in sight to know when they would ever be able to visit their kids again. Because remember, you are somewhere illegal. You are not legal where you are. Then you're gonna have to try to find a job. You find a job. Then I know that there are some people, at least back in the days that I know, they used to do business marriages, right? So you'd have to find somebody who is willing to put themselves at risk to do that kind of transaction. And then even then, when you do find somebody who would put themselves at risk, you know, you have to think of yourself too, because you don't know the type of person who you would be getting in an agreement with, right? So if you're a female, you don't know, and you are going to, you know, do an arrangement with a male, you don't know if that person is an abuser, if that person would cheat you out of what you, because, you know, you hear stories here and there that people pay money and then the persons, you know, they change their mind after, and then when that happens, you know, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters? You can't call nobody, because that's an illegal transaction. And then that is doing those transactions, that is if you can afford it. Because I hear that, you know, people used to pay, I don't know, I guess it's back in the days when, I guess maybe $5,000 or $10,000. So how are you going to find that amount of money to do that kind of transaction, right? So then you know that you will have to be working for a few years, or working extremely hard doing jobs under the what do you call it, off the books, right? Because you don't have a, what they call the number in the States, social insurance. We have a social insurance number here in Canada, whatever that number is is called. You have to get that social insurance number to be able to be legally employed in the States. So it's off the books jobs you will be getting. And then if you're illegal, people can pay you whatever money they want or not. Because I've seen videos on social media where you have people who have gone into the States and they're there illegally and they're working illegally, and their employers refuse to pay them. Again, who you gonna call? So knowing all of this negative aspects that are stacked up against you, and knowing that you have your child or children back home in Jamaica, and hopefully you're praying to God that whomever is taking care of your child is treating them, you know, as good as how you would expect them, because, you know, money changes people. right? If you're living with somebody and you know you don't have any money, people, it's all, you know, jolly good and well. But once you move to the States, people don't think that, oh, she's still having it hard, she's still gonna have it hard, especially knowing that she is illegal. And then, excuse me, taking care of somebody's kid. You know, some of these kids, when their parents leave, they start acting out, you know, because hey, who wouldn't, as a kid, who wouldn't feel, you know, dejected that, oh, my mom or my dad went and left me and now I have to be living with this person. And you know, sometimes the living conditions are not necessarily favorable, right? So as a parent, you know, how did or do you feel, because I guess maybe there are still people in this sort of situation, you know, how do you feel leaving your kids? You know, how is it for you guys? You know, just drop me a comment and let me know. Or maybe you can't identify yourselves in my comment, because you know, you don't know who is watching this video. But you know, express how do you think, you know, whether you're in this situation or not. Express how do you think persons with children who had to leave their kids, you know, to go away, you know, to try and forge a better life for them, how they would feel, you know, and the trauma that both parents and kids, I suspect, would feel, you know, knowing that they have to leave their kids behind for uncertain amount of times. And you know, sometimes in these situations, please wait, in these situations it takes years, right? It takes a lot of years for these people to get through on their paperwork, because all of the hoops that they have to jump through to, you know, get legal status in these countries, and you know, the hoops and leaps and bounds that they have to go through, you know, just to be able to take care of their kids. So leave me a comment, leave your thoughts on this topic, and I'll see you on the next video. And remember to like, share, and subscribe my channel. And thank you guys who have supported me thus far. I have, you know, over 500 subscribers and counting. You know, thank you so much. I guess, you know, I'm putting out some content that is a little bit interesting to you. So thank you for your support. Thank you so much. All right, see you on the next video.